Okay, I can't tell how my video is. I'll do that once I share. But I've got Jude here, and River may make an appearance too. So if you see a cute little white head popping up, that's River. Love it. Thank you. You've just been a great person in my life. There's River. Hi, River. Oh,
Okay, go
sweet.
right down now.
Obviously visual skills brought us together, and you've been popping into the process groups we've been doing. We'll see if we can continue to have those given the bomber effect that's happening, but I'm going to, regardless, continue along with the one-to-ones. Much easier to manage a group of one person in here with me as opposed to 40 or so people. So anonymity is removed. Give me your thoughts about how you think you want to use this time. I mean, obviously it's in a context of emotional or mental reactions to what's going on for everybody with the pandemic, but we'll sort out how this is landing for you specifically. And then I'll
Okay.
find a tool that matches, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a business professor for the last 30 years or so, and I, in late September, early October, made the decision to retire at the end of this academic year. So in early January, before the pandemic really took off here in the US, I told my boss that I wanted to retire. I turned 62 in June of this year, so my retirement date is going to be on July 4th, so a few days after I retire.
Mm-hmm.
And I never anticipated, that we would, school would be closed, and we had spring break the second week in March, and I haven't been back, to campus since then. So they extended spring break by a week and then told us we had to move everything online starting on the 29th of March. And then they recently just announced that our summer school would also be moving totally online. So normally I teach online in the summer, but this time around wanted my last semester or my last teaching to be face-to-face. So I switched to the face-to-face class, but now it's going to be online. So the move online for
plans
me
have been thwarted.
Right. The move online has been pretty easy because I've taught online for the last 15 years or so. But it's given me a lot of time to think more about what am I going to do when this is finished. And so that's kind of what I'd like to talk about, if that's okay.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And one of the things, as you mentioned, I've been popping in. I've done, I think now, the last 3 of the pop-up processing sessions. And it was back in 2016 when I did the fundamentals class with you up on Vancouver Island. And I struggled with trying to figure out how could I use those tools and processes when I have hundreds of students every semester. And I ended up deciding not to use them and kind of just set it aside. I also signed up for the home study program, but only went through a couple of the maps and never really finished that either. So when I saw you put the pop-up thing up, it was like, okay, I'll go back to the home study. And so I got back into your tools, and really it's been very helpful for me as I've been thinking about retirement and what lies ahead for me. I'm not going to stop working. I'm just not going to teach in a business school anymore.
Yep.
So right now I'm trying to figure out, how do I want to use these tools? Do I want to continue and do the certification process? And if so, how could I use these tools in the next 7 or 8 years of my, work life? I don't plan to work until I'm about
academic career.
7.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I love the personal development aspect. I have a master's degree in counseling, and I've been, the last 20 years or so, I've been teaching in business about how to be an authentic, compassionate, kind human being in business, trying to bring that into the business world. So, and that's I want to continue doing that kind of work, just not with business students, with other people, with people
Yep.
that aren't forced to be there, that my classes are all required. And my class was how to be a human being in an organization, right? So,
And required class. I'm glad to hear it's a required class.
Yeah. Well,
even if some might be kicking and screaming in there, huh?
The required part was it's a class about organizations, and I put the spin how to be a human being, in organizations. So
cool.
So I'm trying now. I'm sorting through, what's next, and how can I use visual tools. I don't draw very well, and that's one of the appeals of your tools is I don't really have to draw very well, but some of my skills are listening, deeply, and asking good questions of people. So, I think those fit really well, with using these tools. So that's kind of what I'd like to.
Thank you. That makes sense. And where my head is going is to future self. So it makes me curious about your forays into future self over those last 3 sessions we've had. How's that gone? Because it seems like maybe that's what I can do is facilitate a conversation, bop you out, and to engage with her about this and see what she has to inform you about.
So the future self that I did in whatever session, I think that was session 3 maybe, or
3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah. For that, I'm just looking at it right now, and
all I want to know, I don't need to know the details. What I need to know process-wise is, were you able to go to her when you did that journey? Was it was it interesting or fruitful for you?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And it was like a year from now, it was like I had already done it. So
we need to go to one
reinforcing.
Bit of a stretch too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, good. I'm seeing in your face, sorry, I talked over you. It was reinforced. Okay, so I'm gonna think we do it, but we take you out to a future self, a little bit more of a stretch of time. So if you've gone to a year, that was obviously helpful for at that moment what the intuition was to do in terms of the timeline out there. In this case, I think it's more of a stretch because you were giving me saying you want to work up to 70, I think you said. That might be a good place to go to. Nice round number.
Okay.
And talk about perspective, right? Because she's not only got through the current thing that's happening with the pandemic, but also going to, I don't know how long it's going to take to get through that. So maybe it's still going. We'll ask her, but okay. So I'm going to do a screen share. One sec. I'm just going to get a map ready on my end and then share the screen. There's River. Okay. Give this a quick save so I don't write on my master. Okay, so give me the month and the date of our destination. Where is she?
This would be June 2028.
Okay, good.
But what I see on your screen is the flip it good.
Oh, I wonder what's happening. One sec.
And it's one that's already filled in.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's up because that's not what I'm sharing. I'm just going to stop share. And I must have layers of this up. Oh, I see what I did. I shared the wrong thing. How's that?
There,
Okay.
that's the right one.
Okay, good. Now let me go move us out of the way so I can see you on my other monitor. There we go. Okay, ready to roll. Suddenly getting hot in here. Okay, so say it again for me, the month
So
and the
June 2028.
Okay, so I'm putting that's their destination. What's your vehicle or whatever brings you there?
The eagle.
Ooh, nice choice. It's always so fun. I love hearing the vehicles. Okay. So you're welcome to do this however you want to do this. You can keep your eyes closed the whole time. You can keep eyes open and focus on a spot on the floor or the ceiling or something. I'm going to take notes for you. You're welcome to look at them if you want, or you can just keep your eyes closed. And when you open your eyes, it'll be a map all filled out. Okay, so with that, just taking a couple of deep breaths. Both of us just kind of calibrating back into the body, having spent some time, two heads talking with each other across the internet technology here, and both get grounded back into our bodies, breathing in, relaxation, peace, calm. Out, just letting go of anything that needs to be let go of. Another deep breath in. And exhale, just release. I'm just going to keep this breathing. This is the best thing any of us can do under stressful conditions, is remember to breathe. And when you're remembering to breathe, you may bring up into your mind's eye. Different people process in different ways. So you may see things. You may just know them. You may feel them. Some people even hear and taste and smell. However, this is very right brain what we're doing. So however things come across to you, just make them okay. There's no wrong way to do it. So summon the eagle, however you summon the eagle. And communicate to the eagle that you want it to take you this time to another future self who's further out in time than the prior one. And this one is out in June 2028. And she knows, just like future selves always know, they know when we're coming. So jumping on, or however you do it with that eagle, and the eagle bringing you forward in time. Maybe it kind of hovers up above this crazy time of April 2020. And then you start to move out of the atmosphere, moving through the remaining months of this year, crossing the line into 2021, and crossing another line, maybe even picking up speed into 2022, 23, 24, 25 even flashes by, 26 goes by. And then we approach up into 2028, coming down for landing mid-year around that June time period. If you can hear the dog barking in my background, there must be dogs there. Noticing as the eagle deposits you, you got that eagle eye view, right? So you might be getting hits of information even before your feet touch the ground as you disembark from that back of that eagle. Anything that you're noticing as you're coming into view.
I'm landing in the forest.
Mm.
And I see my tent and some big pine trees and my little backpacking chair. And my journal.
Mm.
And my flute. And I still hear the dog barking. In the distance, though, my dog's not with me. So there is a dog barking in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And the sky is really blue and the sun is shining. Feels very peaceful. And I have the sense that this is up in the mountains somewhere. So the air is cool.
And then as you come in for that landing, this is the home of the future self. She's there. Maybe you've already spotted her. If not, go find her. Where is she? And as you take her in, like anybody who we first see, we get those kind of instant kind of impressions. What's your impression as you come upon her?
Her hair is not as gray as I expected it to be.
What is it?
It's got some little white flecks in it, but my reaction is, you don't look 70. And she's gathering up some twigs, wrapping them up in a shirt to carry them back to the tent.
And what's your impressions of her? People have kind of an aura, or they give off a vibe. What's her vibe?
Her vibe is very much at peace, and also there's a sadness, a loss, a recent loss that she's experienced.
Mm-hmm.
She also has a real deep strength and sense of groundedness. Like she's at home there in the forest.
Has she realized you're there yet?
Nope, she's oblivious.
Alert her to your presence.
Okay.
She got a little caught into the zone, so she's like, oh, my visitors arrived. Yeah.
Ah.
And allow yourself to be received by her.
She says, I've been waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
What took you so long?
Well, how do you want to respond to that?
I've been busy.
It's only 2020. You remember 2020. Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm. See how she receives that. Honest statement.
She says, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so glad you're here now.
So receive her welcome and her love and her support and her understanding, because this is the best ally in the world, because she's been you. And if she's not, we'll go to her future self where she is. But so far, so good, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Allow her.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Some tears are starting to well into her eyes. I can see them.
Mm-hmm. And as you receive those tears, where do you go next? Is there an action you want to take, or a question you want to ask, or anything that wants to unfold? Just notice what's natural.
Well, it's like I don't need to ask her what the tears are for, because I can feel
Mm-hmm.
that they're tears of compassion for what it took for me to get there.
Mm. Okay, so feel that compassion from her. Really receive it. She really gets you.
And she just said she's been gathering the twigs for a fire ceremony.
Mm.
And she was hoping I would come to experience it with her.
So usually I'll ask, where do they want to lead you? But it sounds that she's showing you where she wants to lead you. She wants to
Yeah.
lead you to the fire ceremony.
And I want to ask her, well, what does that entail? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is its purpose? What's it for?
Valid question. What's going on here? Mm-hmm.
And she said this fire ceremony is meant to acknowledge your connection with the ancestors,
Mm.
with the earth, and to help you let go of that which is no longer yours to carry. And that's not just your personal burden to let go, but it's also the burden that you've been carrying about how education has sucked the life out of people.
Mm. See if there's a dialogue you want to have, or just proceed with the ceremony.
She wants to tell me that she's very proud of me
Mm-hmm.
and the teacher that I've been. She wants me to know that I have not failed.
What have you? If you haven't failed, what have you?
I have helped a lot of people heal
Mm-hmm.
and see their strengths, see their courage, see their power, see their gifts more clearly. And in doing that, I've also helped myself see my own gifts
Mm-hmm.
as reflected in them.
Mm-hmm.
And she also wants to continue with the ceremony and call in the four directions and the earth and the sky. And she hands me two of the twigs that she has gathered. And then she takes the rest of them and starts building a fire. And she has her drum, and she starts drumming quietly and calling in the spirits of the four directions, the south, the west, the north, the east, the earth, and the sky. And she asked me to take one of the twigs and stick it into the flame. And it represents everything that I need to let go of. All the hurt, the shame, the disappointment, the fear, the anger, the injustice that I have personally experienced. And let the air carry it away.
Mm.
And she asked me just to let myself let it go, release it. And then she asked me to take the second twig, and it represents all of the evil in the world that humans have carried throughout our existence. The greed, the violence, the dehumanization, the racism, homophobia, everything that humans have done to harm one another. And she asked me to light that twig on fire and release it into the air. Let the smoke carry it away,
Mm-hmm.
including all the damage that humans have done to the earth. And as the twig stops burning, she says, "These burdens are no longer yours to carry." And now she's saying, "You have other work to do."
Mm-hmm.
And she smiled.
Now that we got that out of the way, get ready.
Go have some fun.
Nice.
It's time to learn how to play.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And she says, "That's what the flute is for. Bring music back into your life."
all of this is an answer in and of itself, but see if there's anything that yourself, your 2020 self, wants to ask or communicate, get advice from. Anything you're confused by, questions, yeah, buts.
The only yeah, but that came to me was, well, what about this visual coach stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good
You
question.
know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for. And her answer is, you already know what to do. You don't have to be you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to draw. Just play. You know what to do. And she handed me the flute. And I played a song. And all of a sudden, there's all kinds of other animals coming out. The deer, owls, squirrels, rabbits, even a turkey.
A little Pied Piper.
Yeah. And now she's saying it's time to go back home.
Mm-hmm. There's two things before you go. See if she's up for this. Would she allow you to embody her body?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first one. So when you and she are ready, get yourself on in there. Get her body on. Look through her eyes. Feel through her limbs. Maybe feel the ground underneath your feet, the flute in your hands, the connection with the natural world. Also feel into her connection to the past, the present, and the future. She's got a future self from here. So feel that lineage, right? You've got the ancestral past lineage and you've got that future lineage. And maybe there's people in this world that she's connected to. Feel them, feel those relationships, feel the larger world, your role in it, your energy in connection to all of that, how that body feels. Feel that right down to the cells, right? That peacefulness and that compassion that she has. Even feel the white flecks in the hair. And that presence. And the animals. Taking that down to that cellular level. And when you're ready, returning her body, stepping out of it, but you're bringing that energy with you. Once you tap into that cellular level, you've got it. It kind of multiplies like a cell. As you split out, you take it with you. Thank her for that. That's always an extraordinary gift. And talking about gifts, see if there's anything else that she wants to gift you. It might be something physical or non-physical, but it's something that you'll be bringing back with you to 2020. What's the gift that she gives you?
She handed me a box of waterproof matches.
Now I can make my guesses. Maybe you know what that's about. If you need to ask her, go ahead and ask. What's the symbolism for those waterproof matches?
She said they symbolize the fire that I carry with me, and
Ooh.
that I can use this ceremony anytime I need to. That the rain of my tears will not put the fire out. It's okay to cry those tears, to grieve, and to remember who I am. And then she said the matches will never burn out. They're magic.
Magic matches. Love it. Thank her for them. Sticking them in a pocket or wherever you need to do to bring it back with you. See if there's any final thing she wants to say to you. What's the one day? There's many things and you're taking this with you, but what's the one last thing that needs to be staring back at you big on this map that she wants you to remember? Because there might be, twists and turns along the way till you get to her. What's her wisdom bit that she wants to shout across the time at you?
Forgive yourself. You are enough.
Thanking her for that. Taking it into yourselves too. With your matches in your hands or pocket. Taking in the scene, knowing you can come visit. You can connect with her at any time you want to. You don't need me to do this. Introduction's been made. You can connect. See if there's anything that she wants to, you can come back, but see if there's any way she wants to communicate with you that would not require you having to make a journey. Is there kind of a communication device or something that can be set up between the two of you? If so, what's the signal? How do you communicate?
She says, find a twig and burn it.
Cool. Reminds me of incense. Yeah. Thank her for that. When you're ready, having her bring you back to wherever the eagle is and summoning the eagle. Knowing that you have your communication device set up, you have the gift, you have the connection to her, so you're well equipped. Reconnecting with the eagle and giving it the directions to take you back to 2020. Eagle soaring up above this beautiful mountainous scene of the future self, maybe even white waving goodbye, and starting to pick up speed and velocity and returning you back to your time and place. Moving from the summertime of 2028 and going backwards in time, back through 27 and 26 and 25 and 24. Maybe it's starting to hit some turbulence, 23, 22, 21, and then coming down into backwards down those months, depositing you, coming into the zone of early April, mid-April, I guess, 2020 here, bringing you back to sitting in front of the computer, having come back from a remarkable journey, hopping off the eagle, inhabiting your body in front of the computer. When you're ready, becoming aware of your limbs and your torso and your seat, and starting to move about a little bit and re-inhabiting this body. And when you're ready, opening the eyes and stretching. All sorts of notes here. The map is never the territory, but it'll be a memory device for some of what came across so loud and clear in your journey. And just gently, we don't want to yank you back into left brain territory, but as you're able to acclimatize here and get a bigger look on what you just came back from, anything that you notice or say at this point in time, knowing is going to continue to unfold here about the journey that you just had. What you went into, right? What the inquiry was and what you got. Anything you want to say at this point in time?
The thing that pops up the most to me right now is the forgive yourself.
Mm.
That was such a, I mean, I really felt that when she said that, and it's like still reverberating in me. And
Yeah, that surprised me too. And I trust that she knew the thing to reach into to really say, right, that maybe hadn't been verbalized up till then, to really show it, right, and
yeah,
remind you of, and for you to be inquiry about. I think from here, right, you might already understand what that's about, and or if not, more layers of it continuing to show itself to you.
mm-hmm.
Especially if there's some quieter time, which for some of us that's happening right now, right? So
Mm.
kind of perfect time to be doing this. I
And I
usually,
think the other part for me is the reinforcement that being out in nature and doing some self-generated ceremonies is really important to my healing. And
you're very shamanic. I mean, this is such a shamanic journey.
and also the animals that showed up, the deer, the owl, the squirrel, the rabbit, the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to think about what does that mean. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the animal spirits. It's interesting to me, and it could just be the way I draw them, but how else do you draw flutes and twigs and matches? Right? But they're all that same shape.
yeah, and I don't think I said the flute is a wooden flute.
Hmm.
I don't think I said that, but that's the other part. That's, they're all wood.
Exactly. Yeah. Back to the natural. That's what made me think of it, was the
Right.
natural elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just how important that is for you. Are you around woods at all where you are, or able to access that? Some people have different things going down with lockdowns where they can't, but how about you?
Well, where I live, it's actually we kind of call it an urban forest. I live in the city, but the city has done a wonderful job of making sure there's lots of trees on every street. And so, and there's 2 parks where I walk my dog every day that are still
Mm.
open. So,
Mm.
um,
Awesome.
so there's a lot of trees um,
And
nearby.
and that's perfect, because through what's immediately in your vicinity is the connection to the future self, right? So that link and reminder, and that you don't have to be anything different than you are. It's right there.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, there may be other places in the future that you'll go to for a different kind of nature, but isn't it perfect that it's right there where you are to help with this unfoldment, this container that you're in
Yeah.
during this time? Okay, we never know what's going to happen. We come into a session, something happens, and then we leave it, we close it. So give me a closing quote, which just means anything you want to say in terms of an I am or I have statement as you look at how you were coming in. We did our whatever happened here, beautiful. How are you at this point in time?
Well, the statement that's coming to me is, I know what to do. She said, you know what to do, but it's like, I do. I know what's next, what the next steps are.
Yep, let me underline that. I do. Trust yourself, trust the unfoldment. You can do it. Thank you, Jude.
Thank you.
Beautiful opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to witness and hold space and facilitate it. Gorgeous. All sorts of parallel processing for me, and I know a gift for others who will be able to partake of it as well. Inner work is connected to all of us, so thank you for doing it.
And thank you for holding the space. And I don't know if you could see this, but my dog, just feeling the energy, the difference. She was on the right side of me, and kind of wanting my attention. Then she calmed down during the fire ceremony. Then when that was done, she crawled over my back and went to the other side, and then just laid down and so
They do
so
pick up on energy.
she was figuring it out too. So
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. Love them. So love your dog. And then Riley popped up midway through too. Our family dog. Yeah. Awesome. Love the animals. Okay, sweetheart. Take good care.
Thank you. You too.